So, greetings, ladies and gentle players. It has been a year. The year of 2022. And the only thing on everyone's mind, I'm sure, is what were the bloodiest games of the year? A lot of you, surprisingly, I was sent in a couple of recommendations. I was shocked. I've never been sent in recommendations before. Those of you who sent in the games that you thought were going to qualify, I congratulate your due diligence in looking for the bloodiest games of the year. Sadly, no one sent in game number one that we're going over here, the runner-up, and no one sent in the grand prize. So, good try, missed it by that much. To qualify as one of the bloodiest games of the year, you can't just be like, okay, we're going along fairly peaceful, someone forgot a cutting point, a group got cut off, dead, game over, yay! No. To qualify for bloodiest game of the year, you have to have a very, very high body count, and you also, super important, have to have fighting throughout the entire game. It's kind of a requisite, you know? A runner-up game between Byun Sang-gil, a name that many of you probably actually do know, and Park Min-kyu, someone who probably don't. Probably not going to see games in the future that outdo the two games we're going to be going over today for the runner-up and our grand prize. Because this game is rocking over 50 deadstones, and the grand prize is rocking over 60. Yeah. A lot of dead things in the games we're going to be looking at here. And I just don't know how pros are ever going to top that, personally. So let's take a look at this first game. There's one other teensy-weensy little tidbit that I ought to mention that makes this game a little bit more interesting. It also goes to counting. So you are in for a treat. We have the good old 4-4 point being taken by Byun Sang-gil, one of Korea's top players. Blocking the diagonal play. Okay. This game was played in October of, obviously, this year, but October 14th. Interestingly enough. Uninterestingly enough, we got the 3-3 point. Yeah, it's a 3-3er. It's, what are you gonna do? Everyone's been doing it for years now. Trying to find a game where it doesn't happen is really, really tough. It is what it is. So, alright, we got here into here. And you know the way it's going, folks. You know the way it's going. We block here if we're going to be playing for Gote. For those of you who are unaware as to why that might be, it's because if we play this way, then in it is the future, this area can still grow. If we play Gote this way, black can still build the bottom and it just sucks. It's like, hey, look at me. I'm building up and I stole your corner. You're probably feeling kind of dumb about it now. But it's a thing. So for right now, meta is if you're going to be playing Gote, we block this way and not this way. Because the continuations on the other thing kind of suck. Not very happy with them. Alright, so bam, we play here. Slamming down into the approach. Everything is pretty straightforward right now, and I wish this game did not come in at runner-up, because, yeah, it's a 3-3 into a 3-3 game. I honestly wanted to disqualify it right then and there. But, rules are rules. It met the criteria for bloodiest game. One of the bloodiest games. So darn it, we're going over it. Here we are now playing a different Joski. And we're kind of fighting for Sente in a weird manner. White is free to play another move here, with black having a nice and strong wall that we can go ahead and extend to. So we get to this point. Black says, that's good enough. I'm gonna pincer. And pincering is fantastic. Pincering is fine. You can see we've got like a 4-stone wall here. Probably a little bit larger, to be honest, depending on what happens on the head of these particular stones. So probably about a 5-stone wall. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a little bit far. A little bit far, but we are still making sure that this one stone here can't get a base. So, it's pretty good. White. Get ourselves a little bit of a nodders to white. Because white apparently says, I'm going to hide at the head of your stones and play nice and simple game. Clearly, I've now lied to all of you. This is not one of the bloodiest games of the year. This is one of the simplest games of the year. Look how simple this is. Threatened to hide ahead of 2 and 3 stones. Declined. Threatened to hide ahead of 2 and 3 stones. Declined. How simple is this? White's taking an area. Black's taking an area. Oh, I lied. This is one of the most peaceful games of 2022. Not one of the most violent. I clearly had my bookmarks all switched up, right? But White's not content to let this area just fall to his opponents without, contesting it a little bit. So, we got the attachment, try to make something happen. Black's playing all the forcing moves. White counters. And now we have the first weak group of the game. There are many things that you would want to try to do to this group. Many things indeed. If I were to ask chat, where would you play now as black? I can guarantee you at least one person would get this move wrong. At least one person. Because as amateurs, that's pretty much who watches me. You're tempted to do things. You're tempted to be a lot more aggressive. Or you're tempted to be a lot more passive. In the case of the suggestion of R11 that I see in chat right now, that is a case of being... wait, where is R11? Being too passive. Too passive, And P9 is a case of being too aggressive. See? It was practically scripted. I paid them to actually say those things in chat. That's why it went so perfectly. What we're going to play here is something nice and simple like U10. Because we're on the 4th line now. We've defended. Not playing too aggressively with the attachments. The attachments kind of gets weird because you've got to read out this one. I mean, I can tell you right now, you're probably just going to go ahead and kill this off. So them's be a lot of points. And now your opponent is immortal. You do not want your opponent to be immortal, do you? No, you do not. This is very, very risky indeed. How are you going to attack someone who's immortal? Easy. You won't. You won't. You just lost yourself a weak group. If you do something like that, yeah, it's not going to be going well. If you do this one, you've got other mistakes that can happen now. Because, your aggression's only going to get you so far. We're crumbling. We're crumbling. All of our stones are about to die. It's not a good time. Nice and simple. White says, El Tigrimut is what I like. Black's like, territory is what I like. You can tell. I made a bunch of it here. I'm making a bunch of it here. So far this game, gosh darn it, this game is very, very peaceful. One of the most peaceful games I've ever laid eyes on. Can you believe that a game this peaceful is going to turn extremely insane? So far, we got the normal follow-ups, got the enclosure because of the wall, got the diagonal, like I showed previously, most common follow-up when we do this kind of shape. Got ourselves expanding. Nice and simple. This inside makes perfect sense because of the cutting points. Cutting points are a thing that are not simply a cube's delusion. Don players have to be aware of cutting points. Professionals have to be aware of cutting points. If you're playing Go, you got to be aware of cutting points. They will kill you. Kick, fast escape. Reason being here, if we just play here, it can be argued with some degree of ease that we are still behind the sector line. So, with that in mind, what did Black just play? A move to begin getting away from sector line. This game is so easy to follow, it's insane. This game is easy to follow. Who's really playing this? Are these really pros playing this? I don't know. Maybe these are 10 Qs. I'm kidding. 10 Qs would have made terrible shape by now. We're at 43. 10 Qs can't last 40 moves and not make terrible shape. I kid. Defense and applying pressure. Defense and applying pressure. Got ourselves the Atriari. Trying to make shape with the original. Oh, look how solid these moves are. Not running with a small knight like a crazy person. Because I know a lot of people on Fox will be like, I'm going to run with this. It's like, but what if I play here? It's like, it's fine. We're just going to go and play the ladder. Oh. Oh, right. I guess we're not going to be doing that, huh? Well, darn. So we got that. Once again, guess who's behind the enemy line? Just like so. It would be Black. Making ourselves a merry little forcing move. Just like so. Don't want to get pushed and cut, so we block. And we got that. At this point, it's pretty understood that Black's going to be alive. Like, even if we Atari this or whatever, there's still this one into this one at the very least, right? So this is alive, so White plays elsewhere. All right. Well then. Pretty simple game, right? Clearly, I've made a boo-boo in the game that I picked, and I should be more careful in the future and find one that actually contains fighting. Yeah, clearly that's what I should be doing. Unless this game does contain fighting. Unless good old Byun Sang-gil over here decides, hey, I'm going to make another group, you're going to fight me, and then who knows what's going to happen. There's the group. There's the pincer. Running with a small knight. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere, because the top can live, but it's not alive just yet. The left stones aren't alive just yet. Okay, now we're slowly putting some stuff together. White obviously cuts, because all the weak groups threaten to Hane and kill. White says no. Threaten to Atari and kill. White again says no. What a rude person. Can they say anything else ever? I don't know. Again with the Hane. This next move, it's fantastic. Easy to miss it. Easy to miss it. Good old nose. White knows what to do here. He can smell the shapes that he's looking for. Got the turn to an extension again. Nose into nose. Everybody knows. Try save stone. Again, tries to kill. Getting some extra liberties. Uh-oh, now we're getting into trouble. So we have to be careful, because we're still trying to keep these stones killed. So we get to push, Atari, and connect. If he did not do that, and just connected, well, that's getting pretty alive right now, isn't it? Because you've got, like, this sort of thing at this point. It's going to be... It's gonna be a bit tough. So alright, we're keeping Liberty short, keep Liberty short. And we got the Atari. Oh, wait, no, sorry. My bad. I jumped the old gun. Threatened to extend first. Takes for the clamp. Black says no exchanges. And now we've got ourselves one heck of a mess, because this entire area here is like, I don't know who's living from this. Couldn't tell you. Black says, I'm going to net you. I have won this game. Worship me now. I mean, it's 3 liberties. Right? It's 3 liberties. We can't push and cut. So, I mean, that's game right there, right? That clearly that's a game. We could just go ahead and resign now. Yeah, I mean, White's obviously going to lose because these stones are dead. Doesn't seem very violent of a game, does it? That's only 1, 2, 3, 4 stones killed? Okay, maybe 5. Okay, 6. Fine, 6 stones are killed. 6 stones are killed. Hardly deserving of one of the bloodiest of the year. But hang on, White's not done. White launches a slight attack. Not really sure what's going on here. Atari. No, descends, not take. Yeah, descend, not take. I'm gonna go and descend. Allowing for, because if we went here, that's insta co, right? Anyway, Atari, take. Atari again. Take. Atari. Looking to get a little something done. Block. And Atari. White backs off, because that was going to be a huge friggin' co if they fought from here. Because that would have been for white stones. Instead, alright, there you go. Black's alive. Way to go. But what did White get out of that? I mean, that was a little bit of a fight, right? That was a little bit of a fight. Sure. Black tried to escalate it. Okay, yeah, to get all the group, to get all the stones. Cool. But what did White get from this? Well, glad you asked. If you said, from this, the net no longer works, step forward and claim your prize, you are absolutely correct. The net no longer works, does it? Oops, hello. Sorry, Black. Play your move first, and then White will. There we go. So, alright, things are escalating again. Got the Atari into a connection. Pushing down for more liberties. Same thing. Just getting rid of that cutting point. This one's kind of interesting too. Like, rather than take, we're just going to go and play here immediately because we still have take. Doesn't want to get pushed through. Now we're going to go do some squeezy times. And extend. And extend. And Hane. And Hane. And Atari. And connect. Now we're getting somewhere. Where we're getting, we don't know yet. But that's a huge mess in the middle of the board. Like, we've got black almost dead, we've got white almost dead, we've got cutting points. Ooh, we're getting somewhere now, aren't we? Let's see what your fighting skills are like, though, chat. What would you say is important point to play now? Let's see your fighting skills, chat. What are your fighting skills like? What's black gonna play next? Or white, sorry, white's turn. White's turn, not black's. White's turn. K10. Interesting move. K10. What would K10 be doing? Like, you Atari and defend. Like, you Atari and then they connect, and then what? You Atari again, and... yeah, I'm not really sure where K10's going. Not really sure where K10's going. Seems like it's fixing all the things. That particular Atari. L9. L9, that's a bold play. L9 tells me that you, sir, just want to get out of here. L7 also says, let me out of here. Okay, L7 dies immediately. L7 is just Atari into Atari. No, remember, I kind of gave you the hint. Both groups are in trouble. Both groups are in trouble, right? So we're going to control the thing, because bop, 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 bop. Right? This is the shapey point. This is the shapey point. There into there. Fixing all the shapes, maintaining all of the cutting points. Ball is now in the court of black. What are you doing? Black extends. White says check. Black says you're checked. This is a time Suji. Going for the connection. Atari, Atari. Now that right there didn't have to be played. White chose, or sorry, black chose to give up that last half of the stones rather than to save them. The question is why? I think this is black's I have an idea moment. What's black's idea? The group on the right looks sus. It does look pretty sus now, doesn't it? It does look pretty sus now, doesn't it? So black launches a rather odd but very severe move to poke at the shape. Instantly, white knows what's up, and he's trying to create the object that he's going to be using to extract himself from the new attack. Atari, Atari, Atari. These are, again, mostly time sujals. White's making shape. Getting poked. Ooh, look. Skird, skird, skird. Going to Co, potentially. White Atari. Black extend. Threaten to kill. Is denied. At this point, captures now stand at 15-7. 15 captures for white, 7 for black. And retake. And Atari declined. Here's where things get really, really interesting. Ooh, if you think things were interesting now, no. If it was just this, I wouldn't have selected this game. The fact that this game has yet to fully go off the rails is why this is a runner-up. Interesting move there from good old White. White is up to something. White is up to something. Black's like, I'll kill these too. What are you doing? It's like, are you really? It's like, yeah, kill all of it. It's like, oh, are you? It's like, what was the code for? What was the code for? It wasn't even for these stones anymore. White's looking like a crazy person now. White's just a crazy person. Stupid White. But it looks like White has other ideas. Rather than connect and be safe, he's now eyeing this group. Oh ho ho, isn't that interesting? Also, this one, inadvertently, because if this connects, then you can go back and cut here and all the things are disconnected. So, disconnects to try to keep the profit. But that lets the second attack be launched against Black's other stones. Black needs to defend. White says, hey, can I connect up? Black's like, yeah, do whatever you want. Just stop attacking me. White's like, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'm all out of that. Truce. Truce for now. Truce for now. You connect, I connect. We all connect up. And says, well, that can go to So White's like, fine, you forced this. You could have connected. I could have connected. We could have been fine. But no, you have to try to poke at my cutting point. So this fight isn't over yet. So we go, we block. Now we're threatening a whole bunch of dead stuff. Defending the whole bunch of, well, some of the dead stuff anyway. So far we're okay. So far we're okay. Okay, now there's a cutting point that's getting a little scarier. Yep, that's getting a little scarier. And then they want Atari. Okay, this is right. This is fine. This is fine. It's just a bunch of stones that aren't alive right now. Goes ahead and connects. Threatens to cut and kill. We get an Atari. It's going to be immediately connected because this has to be defended. Now, I hate the timing on some pros. Because I'd be like, oh, yeah. Now we're going to play like here something, right? Yeah. No, now we're going to go back and connect. It's like, what? What? But it's interesting, because if Black double taps, White gets to connect. Instead, Black escalates. So White does likewise. And now we have the inside, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 or 6 stone capture, right? Gotta be careful of those liberties. So are these stones even dead yet? Ooh, I don't know. He's going for it. He's going for it. He's getting poked. He's getting poked. Got the free Atari. Uh-oh. Connect. Make sure we can't do anything bad here. Hane. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Only 2 on the outside for the 3 on the in. That sounds like a Seki to me, man. Hane. Kill. Got there into there. Got the Atari. Outside. Take. Go for life now. Simple question. Can I just play here? This one's, again, one of those weird moves that don't make a lot of sense immediately. You'd be like, yeah, why wouldn't you just trade that and let that go to there? Well, that one then opens up this one. So now there's double Atari there, and it just keeps escalating. It just keeps escalating. So we're playing here. Got the take back. Got the defend. Got the retake. Because we're now currently fighting for all of these stones, right? We're currently fighting for all of these stones right now. All of them. Goes for the threat. Black says no. White says, oh, really? At this point, we have now 25 captures for white, 17 captures for black, along with these stones being dead. This stone being dead. Black says no problem. Just gonna live up here. If I live up here, score estimator says it's a close game. It's a pretty close game, actually. Black poke, or white poke, sorry. Another vicious poke, looking to remove a lot from black. Have to launch an emergency attempt for life in the corner. Gets cut off. Sorry, this is admittedly also a problem. That's also admittedly a problem. Those are those aren't quite alive anymore, admittedly. The turn's definitely a thing. Gonna go ahead and do a little bit of an attacky times. Extends. Very, very nice. Only move that saves you, because you can't play here into here, and if you play here, you can't play here, so you can play the Hane. Good read, good read. Now we're going into some Endgame. Doing some pokes. Doing some more pokes. Doing some more Endgame. And some more Endgame. Got the defense on in. Got an extra poke. Saving the stone. Got some more Endgame. Now we have to drop down, then we get to connect. Atari gets connected. Atari is interesting, but this one's larger. Got ourselves a little poke here as well. Before we go ahead and connect, just connect that one up. Connect those on up. Hane is pretty straightforward. Free 2 points. Atari gets a take. And thus we go to counting, where black wins by 1.5. So that right there was an impressive game. There's a lot of stuff dead in this. Was absolutely a lot of stuff dead. I congratulate both parties. That was a lot of murder. It was a lot of murder. You are absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that. One of the most interesting things about this game was how White tried to get something done with this move. Like, that net right there feels like it's so unbelievably sad. But noticing this to avoid the co, and then having White or try sorry, then White or sorry, Black trying to embigify this attack, even though it meant this interesting bit of disaster here, where these stones are dead, but it dies in such a way that it gives the outside to Black to eliminate the remainder of this group. However, White still fought back, didn't take the killing of his group lying down, still found all the Aji, to try to make a little something happen. Managed to secure a co for all of those dead stones. And cut off some stones with a little co threat. Not bad. Pretty good fighting. Pretty good fighting from both. Pretty good fighting from both indeed. Regretfully, it was not in point of fact enough to land them in first place. This was not the bloodiest game this year. I think you will be satisfied with the next game, which we're going to go over now.